this is my high elf list of today. I have 30 archers with a musician and banner of speed.
Nothing is deployed yet.
Nothing is deployed. 21 swordmasters with the full command group. 12 Queen's Guard with musician. 10 Lion Guard with the musician. Then I have 2 Fire Phoenixes in the list. And the 2 Bolt Throwers. And over here I have 20 Spearmen with the full command group. And 5 Lean Reavers with bow. For Battle Standard Bearer I have a commander who is Queen's companion, so the unit he stands in is quick to fire. And he has the bow of Elu. My prince is a master of Canarag Tower with 4 druidism spells. He has the Ring of Fire, Spear of the Blazing Dawn, Book of Maladies and Lucky Shield. He's also equipped with heavy armor and shield.
Very impressive. They're facing up against a new Sylvan elves list. Their core consists of a unit of 16 archers and another one of 13. There's a Dryad matriarch with 2 druidism spells and another Dryad matriarch with 2 druidism spells, who is the general. 19 forest rangers, 15 skirmishing Dryads, 14 blade dancers, a blade lord BSB, five pathfinders, 5 wild huntsmen, and 10 Sylvan sentinels. This is the Blade Lord BSB for Sylvan elves, who will be central in this battle. You'll see why. It's a frontline clash to hold the center, to hold the ground. We've just started deploying here, so the Sylvan elves drops the archers first, then their Dryads, and then their blade dancers. The Highborn elves have only deployed their reavers and spearmen, and will make their 3rd drop now. They have 2 drops left, because the 2 drops less, because the pathfinders are scouting. The matriarch has these 2 spells, and the matriarch general has these 2. These are the deployed units. Forest rangers. All drops have been made equally until now. And the bolt throwers and white lions are also out on the other side. Everything in the middle is to be placed soon. The Highborn elves drop everything 4 units before the Sylvan elves are finished. There are flame phoenixes on the flanks. There are archers behind the mountain, swordmasters to their side. And then the Sylvan elves drop their sentinels on the flank. The pathfinders will go into the ruin in a moment. Wild huntsmen here. The forest rangers. And the 2 Dryad matriarchs go in here. The general with a blue ball. The Blade Lord BSB goes here with the red cape, and the Druid with cosmology goes here with the forest rangers. The Highborn elves roll off and go first. The Highborn elf Flame Phoenix moves up behind the mountain, invisible, so he can do a flame swoop. The White Lions come up, the Swordmasters come up and get Stone Skin cast on them in the magic phase. The archers use their movement banner to get exactly onto the hill so they can fire. They fire loose against one unit. The Wild Huntsman. There's one wild Huntsman left after the Queen's Guard, Bolt Rovers, Archers,
and BSB with the Bow of Ilu.
So the 4 other Wild Huntsmen fell.
30 archers and the BSB with Bow of Ilu did 0 wounds.
These archers have -1 ballistic skill from a druidism spell. On Sylvan Elf, turn 1, the archers turn and face their rear. Not fleeing but retreating. The other units advance. The Blade Dancers use their movement banner and just clip onto the hill to see what's on the other side. And they throw out a forest on top of themselves. They get off no magic except the Oaken Throne on the Dryad matriarch general, and their shooting only kills 1 Elaine Reaver and nothing else. One Flame Phoenix and the Swordmasters charge the Dryads. The Highborn Elf player asked me would I like to film it right then and there before the combat, but I said no, they'll stick 1 round. They're stubborn in the forest, and there are 8 of them left, including the matriarchs. The other Flame Phoenix swoops and kills 5 forest rangers. The archers do very little, killing a couple of blade dancers, as does the hero with Bow of Ilu. The reavers go up to chaff, so the blade dancers can't charge the archers even though they can see them. And he gets off healing water, so very few swordmasters died in combat, just 1 or so, but 3 died from dangerous terrain.
Which we forgot the healing waters. No, I hadn't cast that spell yet, so forget that.
And these are the dead Dryads.
Also the Queen's Guard and the Bolt Throwers shot down
Many forest rangers.
yeah, so there's only 5, 6, 7, 8 left.
7 left with the mage.
Okay.
On the 3rd round of Highborn Elves,
Yeah.
the Swordmasters and Flame Phoenix almost wiped out the unit of Dryads. They killed 1 Dryad matriarch.
No, a correction, it was your 2nd round, wasn't it? Or
Yeah, Sylvan Elves round 2, of course. The Forest Guards retreat. The archers line up and fire on the Flame Phoenix. It has 1 wound left. The Blade Dancers turn toward the large central combat. And the other pathfinders shoot down 3 of the reavers. The Sylvan sentinels here also helped taking wounds of the Flame Phoenix in the center. Now it's Highborn Elf turn 3 next. On Sylvan Elf turn 3, they do not manage to shoot down the last wound of the Flame Phoenix, even though they're surrounding him with arrows. The remaining stubborn Dryad matriarch had 1 wound left now at the end of this turn. He cast Summer's Growth on the Blade Dancers. They charged the Flame Phoenix, did 2 wounds to it, but lost 4 guys in return, and the Flame Phoenix managed its rerollable leadership of 8. The general of the Highborn elves is in a challenge with the Dryad matriarch, and the Dryad matriarch has 1 wound left, the other guy has 2 wounds left.
After managing to save 3 or 4, 6 plus...
The Dryad matriarch managed to save...
Or 5 plus ward save, was it that? Yeah.
3 out of 5, 3 out of 4 5 plus ward saves did the Dryad matriarch. On Highborn elves, turn 4, the Flame Phoenix swoops 4 Sylvan sentinels. The White Lions, with their archer pelts, arrow-proof pelts, charge the archers.
And get absolutely shot to pieces. They charge from cover on the hill. So the archer were hitting on 5s, but they managed to take out 4 lion or white lions. And then they fled 12 inches in the opposite direction. So they blocked off the spearmen, so they couldn't also... then they couldn't advance on the archers.
On the positive side, the swordmaster killed the Dryad matriarch's last wound. The general did in a combat, and he lost 1 wound himself, so the general just has 1 wound left. The blade dancers killed the fire phoenix. They did 9 wounds, but it saved 6 of them, so it just died. And it will return on the next round. The dice roll and the marker says that it will return. Sylvan elves turn 4 next. On Sylvan elf turn 4, the Sylvan sentinels and archers shoot down one of the fire phoenixes, but not the other, which return to life. The blade lord charged into the archers alone. He won the combat by killing 3 archers and losing 1 wound, but they did not flee, of course, on steadfast. The blade dancers went into the forest on the flank of the swordmasters. Highborn elves, turn 5. The Highborn elves get off healing waters, regeneration on the swordmasters. They don't manage to shoot much, they try to whittle down the archers and take 3 of them. The archers and BSB, mostly the archers, kill the blade lord. And the Flame Phoenix swoops over and kills 4 blade dancers or so. That's Highborn elves turn 5. And the Elaine Reavers have been running around on this flank for the whole game. They face directly towards the ruins and try to charge against the Silver Sentinels, and both died on dangerous terrains because they had to run through the ruin. The Sylvan elves shoot down the Flame Phoenix with the pathfinders. The sentinels shoot down a couple of archers. The blade dancers move out of line of sight of the swordmasters again, and the archers shoot down 3 white lions. Now it's the last turn of the Highborn elves, and they seem to hold the center.
Charge! Watch them to flee.
The spearmen charge the archers and make them run, but they don't catch them. The archers and Queen's Guard shoot down the blade dancers to half size and kill 2 pathfinders who flee, and the 3rd remaining flee. The swordmaster's turn, and that's their last turn. They have 2 units, the Queen's Guards and archers.
I actually think the Queen's Guard are just outside.
Will measure very finely. The Sylvan elves fire and kill 4 Queen's Guards, but they manage their panic check. The blade dancers charge the archers, only 1 champion gets in, and he's killed by the battle standard bearer. So the Highborn elves win the objective and almost eliminate the enemy to within only 700 points. So they kill 3,800 points and lose very little themselves.